Hello again everyone and welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host Derailious and today we're back on the Alpha Network for some pretty amazing changes related to the Crimson Isle, as well as all of the Slayer weapons. Without any further ado though, let's launch right into this. Starting off, we're going to take a look at a few of the Slayer weapons. Now this applies for pretty much all of them, but I'm going to be using the katanas as an example. The Void Edge Katana, or the lowest tier katana, now gives you 15 combat wisdom from Enderman. If I go over to the next tier up, that'll be the Vorpal Katana. Now it gives you 30 combat wisdom from Enderman. And the final tier, the Atom Split, gives you 45. This is conditional combat wisdom, so what that means is that you only get it if you kill a certain type of mob, so in this case, it's Enderman. This stuff is also on the daggers for blazes. As you can see, this is the Pyro Chaos dagger. It gives you 45 combat wisdom from blazes, and here's the Pooch sword. It gives you 45 combat wisdom from wolves. The admins have done this to basically buff melee Slayer usage. They want people to use these items on Slayers. People use hype en masse, and this will make it a little more even, which I really do like to see. I'm excited to see these changes be put in the game. However, keep in mind there is only one type of weapon that didn't get this specific buff, and that is the Vampire Slayer weapons, which are in the Rift, because let's be real here, they're not really related to hype or any of the issues outside of the Rift. I would like to see Vampire be changed a little bit in the future, make it a little bit quicker to spawn, but I digress. Before we continue, I just want to say, if you are interested in buying anything off the Hypixel store, make sure you use code RAIL for 5% off your order. There currently is a Black Friday sale going on, and if you buy the $100 package of gems, you get this additional Overflux Power Orb skin included with your order. I've got to say, it looks pretty cool, aside from the flashing skin bug. But I'm going to be real, if you're interested, make sure you use code RAIL. Thank you, Jade, for being the wonderful guest here on the show, and back to the video. Next up, we're over on the forums for a couple of the changes that I just talked about, as well as some additional ones. Notably, they've nerfed blobfish rates from 35% to 25%. They were just too strong beforehand, and they wanted to make that a little bit better. It's still a major buff compared to how it was originally, so keep that in mind. They've increased the trophy fish chance of trophy hunter armor sets, so as you can see, this was the change that was yesterday. It was actually pushed onto alpha. They've made a recipe to craft the Hellfire Rod with 4 diamond magma fish. They've added upgrades to the Crimson Isle fishing equipment line, with the final few upgrades requiring diamond magma fish, and they've standardized the upgrade cost of trophy hunter armor, with the final 2 upgrades once again requiring diamond magma fish. Overall, these changes are really great. Obviously, the conditional combat wisdom to various Slayer weapons is what I just talked about, and I think this update is really amazing. The combat wisdom stuff is particularly great because many people who are newer to the game may not necessarily have a hype yet, and therefore they may be doing bosses a little bit slower than those who otherwise had a hype, or those who had relatively high level Crimson gear, and those players will now be able to spawn their bosses a little bit quicker. This just makes the game a lot more intuitive for those players. I really do appreciate these changes. Overall, at this point, Skyblock 20.9 is shaping up to be a really incredible update with a lot of huge quality of life improvements for the average player. Not only are we going to be getting on soul binding, but we're going to be getting buffs to many of the Slayer weapons. Much of the Kudra armor sets are going to be improved, or at least changed around to be a little bit more fair. And the admins are attempting to balance the game that is just generally better for the average player. I mean, look at the changes to trophy fishing over the last couple days. Those have been really great. I'm just happy with the way things are going, and recently there's been a lot of talk on Twitter and things like that about whether Skyblock is becoming too easy, or rather whether the amount of time that players are investing is not being respected, and I'm just glad to see that the admins are moving in the direction of respecting the time investment that people are putting in. I imagine we'll see more changes not related to the Crimson Isle in the future. This update is very obviously Crimson Isle focused, so hopefully we see more stuff related to that then. But I will say, once again, the admins are doing a great job. Communication with this update has been absolutely peak, and I have basically no complaints whatsoever. And yeah, just basically keep doing what you're doing, guys, because it is going very, very good. Overall, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section down below about what you think related to this update. Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Are you one of those people who's like, I think this should be nerfed, I think these things should be changed? I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you're interested, please make sure to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel a lot. At the end of the day though, my name's Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future fellas, I'll see you then.